Hand up.
Thank you, Chair. I don't want to interrupt proceedings, so I hope we can take care of this very quickly off the top. But I would like at this time to move my motion that the committee summon Mayor Patrick Brown to testify alone for no less than 2 hours on the study of Indian interference, and that he appears before Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. So just quickly speaking to that, Mr. Chair, like I said, we have spoken about this before. This notice has been on the record for quite some time. I don't want to take away from our important witnesses and testimony, but because we have discussed this previously, I think it's important that we complete this motion in order to be able to invite this witness or summons this witness and get him scheduled so we can continue with this. So hopefully we can handle this quickly, and I would like a recorded vote.
So we have a motion on the floor. Ms. Tancho?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just reviewing some of this. Looking at the past witnesses that have been summoned, for example, Ms. Lauren Chen, certainly, Mr. Chair, she seemed to be certain by the indictment of receiver of $10 million from Russia Today to further Russian propaganda. So that seemed quite severe. We saw Christian Firth certainly was summoned and ultimately looked to have been defrauding the taxpayer for millions of dollars. I'm not aware for accusing Mr. Brown of any wrongdoing. I'm not familiar if we are, if the Liberal members are or not. But it would just seem that this is quite a significant sledgehammer of a tool to use on someone who I don't believe is being accused of anything. So certainly we agree with inviting him to committee. That's why we voted in favor of that. But to use a summons, I'm not sure, Mr. Chair, perhaps you can consult with the clerk. Has a summons been used in this way? I'm just not very clear on that. So it would seem from our perspective that this is quite an abuse of this tool in this regard, given my knowledge certainly of those who have been summoned. So those are my opening comments, Mr. Chair, and I would appreciate if you can provide a response to that.
So I'm being told that an invitation was given to Mr. Brown, and he declined. Alternative dates were provided, and there was no reply. So that's why I think this motion is perhaps before us. Mr. Genuis, no? Mr. Sarai, I have you next on the list.
Thank you. I think having sat as chair and justice, I think there is a precedent. Once somebody has refused to testify, if the committee so wills, they can subpoena the person. And it's not to say that they're wrongdoing. It's a matter of getting the witness here. If the committee so decides that it's very important and vital to have that person as a witness, I don't think this committee really decides, or any committees decide, if somebody's guilty of anything. It's an investigative tool and a reporting tool. So never is the guilt the reason to subpoena somebody. It's to have them here and respond. And as Parliament is paramount, I think it's very important that people respond to that and take that very seriously. And if they don't respond in another matter, I think subpoena is an appropriate method.
Thank you, Mr. Sarai. I have Mr. Uppel as the next speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just as a matter of, maybe it's a point of order or maybe more of a request, that we do have witnesses here who have traveled to be here. And I do understand that just recently our last witness has decided not to come from the rescheduling. So we do have time at the end of this meeting to address this issue. So if we can just put this off till after the witnesses are done, then we can address this as well. We'll respect the witnesses and their time, and also this committee's time, if we were just to deal with this issue, this motion, after the witnesses.
Ms. Dancho.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, I would just like to underline that I think this is quite disproportionate, given he's not being accused of anything. We're not sure why there's such aggressive action from the Liberals. I wonder perhaps Mr. Brown is just guilty of being a member of the Conservative Party and running for leadership, and they wish to punish him. Seems to be that way. Certainly this is politically motivated. That's very clear. But regardless, it just seems very disproportionate to use this kind of tool, and we don't support that, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay. So I hear those comments, but we do have a motion on the floor, and I have no one else on the speaking order. Okay. So we'll move to a vote on the motion then. Okay.
Ms. O'Connell.
Yes.
Ms. Damoff.
Yes.
Ms. Groh.
Yes.
Mr. Charles,
Yes.
Mr. Soray,
Yes.
Ms. Denshaw,
No.
Mr. Juniors,
No.
Mr. Shipley,
No.
Mr. Mutz,
No.
Madame Michaud,
En faveur.
Mr. McGregor.
Yes.
So, yeas, yes, 7, 7, nays, contre, 4, 4.
So the motion passes. A summons will be sent to Mr. Patrick Brown. Okay.